All right, so today we are going to be doing some figurative language through Khan Academy. We're going to do it together. Then I will be assigning you guys some IXLs to do. All right. Wrong one. Unpause this.
Hello, readers. We've got a bear of a lesson today, and it's all about figurative language. Sorry, I should back up. I know I said we have a bear of a lesson. I don't literally mean that I've got a bear. That would be extremely sweet. Love a bear, love bear's whole thing with the snacking, sleeping, and the eating of fish. But no, a bear of is a figurative expression that means something difficult. So a bear of a lesson is a difficult lesson. And that's what we're talking about today. Not bears, sorry, but non-literal uses of language, which we call figurative language or figures of speech. Figurative language says one thing, but means another. I can say that my colleague Allison is an eagle-eyed editor, and when I say that, I don't mean that she literally has an eagle's eyes in her head. That would be a terrifying achievement of medical science. No, I'm saying that she is sharp and attentive in the same way that an eagle is. So I'm saying something that is not literally true in order to express something that is true, that Allison is good at editing. Would you call that a lie? I'm not sure I would. It's just a non-literal way of expressing myself. So, having gotten the question of whether or not I'm a dirty, rotten liar out of the way, let's talk about some different varieties of figurative language. First, the simile. A simile is a comparison between two things that uses like or as. If I were really hungry, I could say that my stomach was gurgling like a tarpon, or that I was as hungry as a ravenous wolf. And again, neither of these things are literally true. If my stomach were making actual tarpon noises, I would probably need to go to a hospital. But what do those examples tell you about the way that I, the speaker, think about my hunger? Animals and people get stuck in tar pits. They're floppy, they pull things into them, they slow things down. Sorry, T-Rex. Therefore, I'm saying that my hunger is slowing me down. Or if I'm comparing myself to a wolf, you can imagine me looking lean, desperate, saliva dripping from my jaws at the mere thought. I can really go for a cheesesteak. So that's simile. The second figure of speech I want to talk about today is the metaphor. And what's a metaphor? Cows and sheep. Sorry, I couldn't help it. No, a metaphor is not a meadow for. Metaphors are another way of comparing two things, but this time there's no like or as. We're walking this language tightrope without a net now. You aren't signaling with like or as that you're making a figurative comparison, so you have to use context to communicate clearly. At the beginning of this video, I said this was going to be a bear of a lesson. That's a metaphor. There's a Linda Ronstadt country song from the 70s called Love is a Rose, which is all about how to take care of a relationship through the metaphor of tending a flower with thorns on it. The difference between my stomach is gurgling like a tarpon and my stomach is a gurgling tarpon is the difference between simile and metaphor. Simile uses that like or as comparison, whereas metaphor just straightforwardly says, think X is think Y. Love is a rose, my tummy's a tarpon, which was not nearly as successful as a song. Another way to use figurative language is personification, which, let's just break that word down. It means to describe something as though it were a person. To say that differently, it's describing human characteristics to non-living things. The wind howled through the mountains. The car rumbled as I threw it into gear. The storm raged. These are things that people do, but I'm applying that language to inanimate things like wind, cars, and storms in order to express the way these things are behaving. The car is not literally grumbling, "Ah, man, I can't believe David has to drive me today." It's making noises that I am choosing to identify as unhappy. The greatest kind of figurative language in the entire universe is hyperbole. By exaggerating, I'm expressing emphasis and importance. This summer, I'm going to read 1,000,000 books and eat a literal, actual ton of hot dogs. This is not true. In fact, this is impossible. That is too many hot dogs. Those are too many books. Each of which are sentences I never expected to say. But I'm trying to express my enthusiasm for both books and encased meats. And I'm doing that by being, extra. The final kind of expressive language I want to talk about today isn't exactly figurative language. It's the language of allusion and references, where you make comparisons some examples of allusions. Oh, you'd have to be Superman to lift that fallen tree.
Yeah, somebody raise their hand.
Somebody put something in the chat.
Oh.
I asked what we were doing.
Okay. We are, well, I'm recording it so you can catch up to where we are, but we are watching a couple Khan Academies on figurative language. Then I'm going to assign some IXLs on figurative language, okay? Need to get back to, I guess that's big.
Or you have a golem-like obsession with that stuffed animal. Now, these comparisons only work if the person you're talking to understands the reference. Superman has super strength. Gollum from The Lord of the Rings can't stop talking about how much he loves this one object, the ring. If you don't know the reference, then it's all just noise. One tip is to read up on mythology. You'd be surprised how many times ancient gods like Zeus, Poseidon, and Apollo come up as you read. So that's what we're working with here. Simile. Love is like a rose. Metaphor. Love is a rose. Personification. My car rumbled. Hyperbole. My mom grounded me for 8 trillion years. And allusion. I feel mightier than Hercules. That's figurative language, folks. You can learn anything. David out.
All right. Next.
Hi guys. I'm sorry we're going to talk about the term.
Oops.
Anyway, simile is a lot like a metaphor in many senses. But unlike a metaphor, it uses the terms like or as when comparing two objects. And just to be clear, simile does compare two objects. It draws a comparison between the two in order for a reader to better understand one of the objects. These are also good tools for descriptive writing. Now, let's look at one quick example of a simile. Since the simile compares two different objects, let's take, for example, a sunflower and a sun. Now, obviously, these two objects are somewhat similar since the word sun is both of their names. However, you could take the sentence, the sunflower was as bright as the sun, or the sunflower shines bright like the sun. In both
Parker,
cases, the
pay
sunflower
attention,
is being
please.
compared to the sun, and it gives us a better understanding of just how bright and beautiful the sunflower is when comparing it to other bright and beautiful objects like the sun. Thanks for watching.
All right. Now, the fast one. Trying to find, there we go. We're not doing alliteration. We're doing similes and metaphors. That's what I was hoping to find another metaphor through Khan Academy.
Let's move on to our next lyric,
There we go.
which would be a metaphor. Now, in its basic definition, a metaphor is a form of comparison, where you compare two objects in order to better understand one another. However, unlike its counterpart, the simile, the metaphor does not use the word like or as, fortunately. Now, it's also important to remember that metaphors are figurative, as in they are part of figurative language. In other words, if you take metaphors literally or their face value, they won't make any sense to you at all. You'll be super confused. So I suggest avoiding taking them seriously. However, they're still pretty important in your study. Now, since a metaphor compares two objects, it usually compares important characteristics between the two objects. Otherwise, the metaphor wouldn't make any sense. Okay, let's look at an example. For instance, without the phrase, her eyes were bright stars. Now, obviously, public eyes are not actually stars. However, by comparing them, you get a better idea that the eyes in question are actually super
Stop it.
So it illuminates a little bit more about the eyes that the author has described. Let's look at the second example. What about maybe the snowflakes dancing in the wind? Now, obviously, we all know that snowflakes aren't actually people, so they don't actually dance in the wind. However, by saying that the snowflakes the author is talking about like dancing in the wind, it actually gives us a better description of the snowflakes movement. So by comparing these two things that are seemingly different, it actually gives us a better depiction of the snowflakes. It's fun.
What's the thing, teacher?
I'm assuming that's just, I'm not sure. I was thinking the same thing. I'm assuming here, I'm just going to reverse a little bit and then we'll just pause it. Let's see. I think it's just supposed to be like the snowflakes standing up and then extending their arms, like they're dancing.
But they're on one floor.
Well, that's because they're dancing. Said the snowflakes. So that's like they're on a dance floor dancing. I see the snowflakes at the start, but then when they're actually dancing, yeah, that was not the best picture. Better than I could do, but not better than Emmy can do, as you can see from my wall of amazing art by Emerson. Okay, so you have had the dropsy today, Colby. All right, now I'll move myself back on the screen here. What's the main thing? Over here. I know I'm presenting. The main thing that I would like for you guys to understand, that goes for everybody, even though I'm looking here, so everybody look at the whiteboard so you can look at me, is with similes and metaphors, they are comparing two things. Simile uses like or as to compare them. Metaphor just says it straight away. Okay. The example, my love is like a rose, or the other one, the metaphor, that was a simile because it has as. The metaphor would be the love is a rose. It just says it's a rose. It's not really a rose. Okay. But it's comparing two things, love and rose. Okay. Brianna smiles. Well, I can't tell how she smiles. But I've seen her mouth like one time this year. Brianna smiles like a jack-o'-lantern or a pumpkin. Think about how kind of crooked smile, missing teeth. You know, again, I don't think I've seen her mouth at all this year. So for all I know, that's what's going on over there. I don't know. If that would be a simile. Okay. If I just say Brianna smile is a jack-o'-lantern. Okay. You still get the comparison, but it'd be a metaphor. I just simply said it. All right. Now for homework, and listen up. I will post it on both classrooms. We are not having a math classroom today. Okay. Because I am giving you guys 3 IXLs, right? To get to 90% on all 3 IXLs. Okay, and I'll show you what those are in a second, guys. Hang on. So we will not have math. I want you working on the IXLs. You should be able, if you work really hard, you should be able to get to 90% on all of them. Okay, with during that time, we will meet for science at 2:45. Okay, that gives you what, 55 minutes, right? 55 minutes to work on these 3 IXLs. Also, I want you to reread tonight. So everybody here, you're going to bring your book home, reread Thunder Rose, because tomorrow you will take a quiz on Thunder Rose. Okay? So I want you to reread it to have it fresh in your mind. Even though you can use your book during the test, I want you to read it again. Okay? So you'll know where to look for the answers. Any questions before I give you the IXLs? Okay. Now, IXLs are, it's going to be 4th grade, F as in Frank, 1, 2, and 3. F1, 2, and 3. So I get to here. Go to IXL. I starred them, so it should be starred already. Remember to sign in. Okay, go through Clever. Sign in, because if you don't, after 6 questions, you'll say you've reached your limit. Then you have to start all over again. Okay? What?
So you have to
If you're not signed in. Yes, so that's just if, because if you're not through a school system, you could get to the website, but if you're not logged in, it'll give you a preview just because if not, they want you to pay for it. Okay, and the school TSE pays for IXL or access to IXL. Okay, so learning, we are in language arts, 4th grade, F1, 2, and 3. F1, 2, identify similes, metaphors. Then it has similes, metaphors, and pictures. Then determine the meaning. So the example, never have a hard time, Miss Novak is rude, and I couldn't finish reading it. You have to say what it means. Okay? So take your time, get to 90% on all 3. If you want to earn extra credit, it would be a way. You can do more than 90. If you do more than 90, it's extra credit. Okay? Yes, Brianna. Nope. If you want to start with 3, do 3, 2, 1, that's fine. Do 2, 1, 3, as long as you get them all done. Other questions? What do you mean, can you start at 91? What? Okay. Any other questions? All right. So at home, go ahead and log in to